Welcome to What's Going On, the weekly podcast and videocast of First United Methodist Church in Yankton, South Dakota.
Good morning. I'm Tiffany Beste, and I am doing this week's What's Going On episode. I am the Director of Discipleship and Technology at First United Methodist Church in Yankton. That basically means that I am handling most of the technology needs as far as our audio and visual components of our service go, as well as any of our online social media, website, keeping things up to date with technology, any upgrades that we're needing to do, a lot of things in the technology realm. It also means that I'm in charge of pretty much all of the education, pre-K through 12th grade, and the people that it takes to make all of the different things that we're doing in our church happen. I just wanted to take a minute to look back at our Vacation Bible School from August. It again this year was so wonderful, and wonderful in that we had a lot of kids here and we had a lot of volunteers here helping. And truly, from the bottom of my heart, those types of things cannot happen without the help of those volunteers. And I am always so incredibly grateful for those who come out and help with that. The kids have a fabulous time. It gets them wanting to come back into the church. And really, they see those adults that are helping with those things, working through God and working with God to make things happen. And they're seeing what it looks like to be a good Christian and to help our youth and our children's hearts and minds grow and become closer to Jesus and to understand the impact that Jesus has on our lives. And for me, that doesn't just stop after VBS. We continue that forward into the school year when we start to offer a lot of the many things that we offer for our children. And the need for volunteers stays pretty high during that time. And it takes more than a group of 6 or 8 or 10 to make these things happen. It takes a lot of people to do the things that we're trying to do here at First United Methodist Church. So just some areas that we will be looking at to cover and to offer for our kids this fall is we will have children's church on Sunday mornings during our 9 o'clock service. You will come to the 9 o'clock service with your family. Pastor Katie will offer a children's message partway through the service. And after that children's message is complete, the kids will head downstairs into our education wing to either continue to learn about the story that Pastor Katie might have touched on or the scripture that Pastor Katie might have touched on, or to learn a new story also related to things that, the kids are going to hear about as they're growing up through our church. It might be your typical stories of creation and Noah's Ark and Jonah and the whale, or we might start to incorporate some other stories that maybe they haven't heard and that would be new to them. But again, in order for those things to happen, we really need to have our adult volunteers helping to make them happen. As far as being an adult volunteer on a Sunday morning, you would head downstairs with the kids after the children's message. And my goal as someone coordinating the education is to have the lesson completely set up and designed for you. Whatever it is that might be happening that day, whether it be a craft or games, activities, video, songs, lessons, whatever it might be, I will have all of that ready for you. You would be able to go downstairs with the kids, take a look at the day's plans, and walk yourself right through it, steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I want to make this as easy as possible for our volunteers. I don't want our volunteers having to put in a lot of extra time outside of the time that they're working with our kids. I want them to go into those classrooms, feel confident in what they're going to be doing, knowing that the plan is ready to go for them. If you have any questions prior to Sunday, you are more than welcome to call me and ask, what is it that we're doing on that day? What are you planning for that day? You can come in a little bit early on that Sunday morning, take a look at the plan before you go upstairs for the service. But really, you should be able to come in, walk step by step through what it is I have written down, create an enjoyable atmosphere for the kids while they're down there. They will be busy, they will be active. and it will be 10 o'clock before you know it, and their parents will be coming down to get them. So Sunday mornings will go very quickly just because, like I said, it is part of that service. They head down after the children's message, and we just continue to teach them while they're down there. That children's church is going to be available for our preschool through third grade students. If we have a fourth and fifth grade student that would like to be involved in that, we would have them come down more as a helper to our younger kids. So they're welcome to be involved still, but it would be less as a participant and more as a helper to help with our littler ones. On Wednesday evenings, we will again be offering our 605 program. This year, we're going to be running 605 from 5:45 to 6:45, 1 hour, and that will include supper during that time. We will serve supper at 5:45. We have discovered it does not take kids very long to eat. So by about 5:55, we will either be heading upstairs into the sanctuary where there will be songs, maybe a video to show, and a lesson of some sort or a story that we will tell up there. And then they will head again down into the education wing where they will have, and I will need teachers to help again with the games, activities, crafts, lessons, songs, whatever it is that we have planned for downstairs. Again, I will have a plan laid out for you. So you will walk into the classroom, you will look at the plan I have written down, all of the materials, anything you might need is going to be there available for you to use. And you should be able to walk into the room with the kids, start the lesson, and feel super good about what it is that you're doing with them. As I said before, same with children's ministries or children's church. I am trying to eliminate any extra outside of church time, any prep, any planning that you would have to do then. I will take care of all of that during the week. You would be able to just come in on Sunday mornings, on Wednesday evenings, and everything that you would need would be available for you. I also will be around and available for you in the church if you do have questions. So the goal is to get, just like with VBS, a lot of adults, a lot of volunteers that are around to make things happen. And the more adults we have, it seems the more smoother everything will run. So I'm trying to ask as little as I can out of you in hopes of getting as much as we can out of everybody that's there. On top of children's ministries and 605, we will again have youth group. Youth group is great. This is when the kids are at an age where they really need the church. And we want our church to be a place for our 6th through 12th graders to be able to come and feel comfortable, feel as though they have a place, feel as though they have a home here, feel as though everyone that's in the room with them is there to support them in whatever place it is that they're at in life. We're really able to have conversations with the kids and ask deeper questions and dig further into their knowledge. And of course, we continue to look at the Bible and the lessons that it offers and do a little bit deeper learning for them and just have them understanding how important it is to have Jesus in their life. When they get to those middle school, high school ages, they need to know that there's someone that they can always rely on to be available to them. And that might be us as youth group leaders, or knowing that they always have God. They always have him to turn to. He's always there watching out for them. And I think, that's kind of hard. That's something that kids don't recognize. So we will hold youth group every Wednesday night from 7 to 8. It doesn't take quite as many helpers to manage the youth group kids. I do have a goal that we would love to be able to get 2 separate youth groups, a middle school and a high school youth group. Again, they are just at different stages where the conversations that you can have would look a little bit different if we were able to divide them up. So I'm probably going to be looking for, 3 or 4 adult helpers every Wednesday evening. And that might be something that you can do once a month. Maybe you can do twice a month. Maybe you're able to come regularly on a lot of Wednesday evenings. Really, you just need to kind of think about what it is that you do have to offer the kids in our church and understand that all of us have something that we can offer the kids of our church. You don't have to be this super special, understanding of everything that's written in the Bible person. You really don't. What kids need is just somebody who's there. They just need somebody to be present, and they need somebody that they know loves them and that cares for them and that wants to provide them a safe place while they're here at church. And I will help to provide the content that goes along with that. And however it is that that content is offered or provided, the kids are going to be super excited about. So there's really no pressure. There's no stress. I will be there to support you in this because I want it to be successful too. I would never leave anybody out there to manage it on their own. I would be right there beside you, making these things happen. And one thing that I really think, as parents, we need to think about, and I feel as though in my 13 years of being a parent, I have evolved in this area, is we have our kids in a lot of things, in a lot of activities, and we set aside a lot of time for our kids to be involved in athletics and dance and musics and arts and different clubs and activities and all kinds of things all week long. And I just hope that we recognize how important making Jesus and God part of their lives is. They need to understand that all of these other things that they're doing are great and they're fun and they're enjoyable to go and be part of. But unless Jesus is there as part of them doing it, and that they understand the bigger purpose of life and why they're doing those things, sometimes those things can be hard. Sometimes those things can be really hard for kids. And even though they might enjoy them, and even though we might enjoy watching our kids do them, there are parts of them that are challenging. And the more that they can understand that they're doing these things because of God and for God and with God, the easier those things become to manage for them. So it's our job as parents to make sure that we are making God as much a part of our kids' lives as we are making all the other activities and things that they're involved in part of their lives. And, we're talking about maybe 1 or 2 hours a week that we put God as the priority, and hopefully more than that, but where we really model for our kids, not just talk about it, but model for our kids how important that part of our life needs to be also. And really, the more important we make that part, the other things will feel as though they have more value too. So as you're sitting here, maybe as a parent listening to this, coming from a parent, I enjoy as much as you all do watching my kids do whatever it is that they happen to be doing. But it is our job as their parents to help them understand how important it is to have God as part of our lives in all of those things that we are doing. And we can drop our kids off and we can bring our kids and pick them up when they're done. But the more we are invested in that, the more we take ownership in it, the more that we are involved in it, the more that our kids will see that it is important, that it's not just something that is important for the kids to do, but it's important for everybody in our families to do. And I think that will allow our kids to see that it is more relevant. And when you think about the world and our lives, and you think about the longevity of whatever it is our kids might be doing 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road, having Jesus in their heart and having God be part of their daily lives is the most important thing. And the other things are fun, and the other things there's always going to be time for. But we as parents and we as adults in our church need to be making sure that we are making Jesus and God part of our kids' lives regularly and make it valued and make it important. So if your kids are going to be involved in 605 or children's ministry or youth ministry, which we hope that they all are, we want to see them weekly. We want to touch base with them. We want to know how football's going and wrestling's going and choir's going and their art project is going and how science is and how all of the things that they're doing are going. And when you have a full church supporting your kids in that way, that becomes really important to them. So we want your kids here. We want them involved. We want them active. We want them making this a priority in their lives. But we also want you there. We want you helping. And maybe, like I said, maybe it's 1 hour a month. And we've talked about that in the past. 1 hour a month equates to 9 hours a year. 9 hours a year where you are showing your kids that having God as part of your lives is important. Maybe it's 18 hours a year. Maybe it's 27 hours a year. Whatever it might be for you. But just understand that 24 hours in a day, whatever that equates to in a week or a month or a year, let's make God part of them. Let's make God valuable. Let's make him important, and let's model that for our kids. So on Wednesday evenings, we have 6:05 running from 5:45 to 6:45. That also entails a meal. So we could help serve that meal, clean up after the meal, make that available to the kids. And then we would move on to the areas of games, activities, crafts, songs, lessons, stories, whatever it might be, one Wednesday a month that you come in and you help with that. And then youth group following that with the older kids. It takes a few less people, but those people are still just as important. And, maybe your youth isn't super excited about having you come to youth group, but maybe you can help out with 6:05 instead. Or maybe you have a 6:05 child, preschool through 5th grade, and maybe you're willing to stick around for an hour afterwards and help out with our youth group also. And then, of course, children's church on Sunday mornings, part of that 9 o'clock service, running from about 9:20 to 10 o'clock. All really, really great opportunities for our kids that we need our parents and our adults helping to make happen. And I feel strongly in this. I am so grateful to have this be the role that I have in the church and the role that is now a large part of my life. I know how important this is for my kids. I know how important it is for my family. I'm grateful to be able to make it a large priority in my life right now. And if we can have parents and adults making it a priority in their lives and modeling that for their kids, that will help to make us a very strong congregation and a very strong church. So if you're able to help out, if you're interested in helping out, you can call the church, you can email me, you can text me, call me on my cell phone, stop in at church. I would be more than happy to help talk you through, what might fit you best, what area you might be most valuable to us in. So please pray on it, consider it. 10 hours, 20 hours, whatever it is that you can fit into your day. And just think a lot about what it means for the future of our church and for the future of your kids. I greatly, greatly appreciate any sort of help that we can get in these areas. So blessings to you all. I hope that the school year is off to a wonderful start for all of your kids. It has been so great getting them back into their routine and getting them back with their friends and having them in school. And I'm so looking forward to what this fall will bring. I'm hopeful that there's a sense of normalcy, a sense of being back where we were before, but continuing to move forward and continuing to make things better and to offer more for our kids. First United Methodist Church has such amazing people in it, and they have so much to offer our youth and our kids that I'm hopeful that we can all do this together and that we can make this a family affair and not just something for the kids. So I hope to hear from you all soon. Have a wonderful week, and we'll check in with you later.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of What's Going On, a video and audio podcast of First United Methodist Church in Yankton, South Dakota. We'd love to have you join us for worship on Sundays, and we have 2 options available. 9 a.m. is our contemporary service, and 10:30 a.m. is our traditional service. You can find those online as well at our website, www.firstumcyankton.org, or on YouTube.